We're live. What's up, everybody? My name is Blitzwanger. Ladies and gentlemen, myself and the crew are back at it again for our second Marvel Disney Plus show as the Falcon. Can I get a caca? There you go. That just blasted everybody's headphones. That went red level. There you go.
Well, it's red level for you, not for me.
The drunk Falcons have arrived. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is here. We're going to be checking out episode number 1 right here today. Of course, we hope that you guys will tune in over the course of the next 5 weeks after this one to go on ahead and check out the rest of the show. If you guys do enjoy our, Falcon Winter Soldier cast, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and with that in mind, let's introduce the co-hosts. Mr. Gabe, Mr. Dean, what's going on, guys? Are you guys excited?
I'm excited. I'm
Nice.
always excited for the Marvel stuff.
I'm excited. Yeah, like I'm here. You know, it's a thing. Okay. Yeah.
Something about Anthony Mackie's face.
Ooh, very meta. There's one viewer that we all know that's watching this that just tossed a bottle across the room.
He watches.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, then he definitely is aware. Yeah, you know who you are.
He saw every WandaVision thing we did, I believe.
Really? Okay. That's interesting. I wonder where did he land on it?
He liked it. I think he liked it more than us. Yeah,
Okay.
he liked it more than
That's
us.
cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that makes sense. I feel like that's.
Dean, are you excited for this, bro?
Yeah, I'm actually the most excited for this one. I think out of any of the most recent shows, or I even think I'm excited more for this than I am for Loki, which I was really excited for Loki when that first got announced. I'm just a big, personally, I'm a big Falcon fan. Like, I really enjoy the character. I think it's really well designed.
The opposite, yeah.
Really
Okay.
cool. Yeah, like completely. The opposite.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that you really like his face? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah,
Are you trying to tell me?
I actually think he's a good-looking guy. Yeah,
Wonderful
Yeah,
face.
good face.
Dean, when you said you're a big Falcon fan, I just assumed that you like the actual animal, like that you're a fan of oversized Falcons.
Yeah. Now, let's just clarify this. This does not actually have any falcons in it, as in like the birds.
Hey,
How do you know?
Am I being lied
I'm
to?
guessing. Now, with that in mind, going into this, Gabe, you have already seen the episode, so it's going to be interesting to hear your opinion because you're basically on your second viewing. So I'm very curious to see if you pick up on certain things that maybe neither myself or Dean will not pick up on. But interestingly enough, without spoiling anything, you did say that this is a very different show to WandaVision, right?
Which makes sense, right? Because I think we were like conditioned with WandaVision to like always be like paying like super close attention to like everything, because everything like means maybe a little bit more. I don't believe this is that type of show. Like I've seen it once.
Okay.
It was 2 a.m. when I watched it, so maybe I wasn't in the most.
and you were coming off the heels of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh, dude, yeah, back to back.
Okay. Yeah.
So I wasn't in like my most alert state, but like I think we can like maybe like relax as far as like everything having some super significant meaning.
Ooh, okay, interesting. So not as many like Easter eggy type stuff.
Not that I noticed last night again at 2 a.m. So
before we dive into the episode, which by the way, guys, make sure that you launch Disney Plus. Make sure that you are queued up at 000. We'll be counting down. I'll say 3, 2, 1, go. When I say go, you will press play, and you can also use the syncing clock to match with us so that you're watching along the episode as we do. But the one thing I did want to mention going into this, I lowered my expectations after WandaVision. And I'm trying to be more like just whatever the show is whatever the show is. And I'm going to try not to like come up with too many theories to like influence what the show will be. How are you guys going into this? Do you have like some level that you're like, okay, out of the show, we better get the deciding factor. Which one of these guys is Cap?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say I have one expectation for the show, and I was gonna mention to you, like, I don't know if you wanted to talk like a little bit of predictions before we go in. Obviously, like, I'll keep what I know like off the table, but for you two, but I don't want this to be over at the end of episode 6, and then we have to have a Captain America solidified going forward.
Okay.
At the end of episode 6, like, we need that. Like, I want to.
One of them has to take up the mantle.
Yeah, I want to see a Captain America movie like in the future.
Okay.
Right?
Do you mean like it has to be one of them, not another character that maybe we're introduced to?
Yeah, no, one of them. It's probably
okay.
Falcon,
got it.
Yeah.
What about you, Dean?
No, I mean, overall, I don't expect too much other than what Gabe said. I think ultimately that has to be the deciding. I think that has to be the main factor of the show, because like that's kind of what the comedy is based around, and like the whole kind of premise, in my opinion, is like they're the two of them kind of working together, both kind of mentored and trained with what they, I guess, would both call friends or best friends or whatever. So I like the premise. I'm really excited just to see what they do with it. But I agree with that. Like there has to be a deciding cap for sure.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Aside
But
from
if-
that, to me, yes, I would like to see a Captain America decided after this, but I don't know why my suspicion is that we will actually not get a new Captain America. I think that it's almost like they will go back and forth throughout the show, but I expect that at the end they'll keep their own monikers. Like Falcon will stay Falcon, Winter Soldier will stay Winter Soldier, and maybe we'll get a new character to like be a Captain America type. That's my guess.
I think you're half right, you're half wrong. Like, and I'm not going based off anything in the first episode.
Okay.
I think we 100% get a Captain America solidified, and my theory is that's Falcon.
Mhm.
I also believe there will be a Falcon going forward. It's just not Sam. Like that's what I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, like that.
Dang.
Like,
Okay.
so,
Yo, Dean, you're getting 2 Falcons, bro.
I know.
Caw,
But to
bro.
be honest, I'm
The
expecting
Falcons.
more what you said, Max. To be honest, like
Yeah.
I'm expecting that they both keep their own monikers, but like I do hope that they do kind of have another another Captain America, like to just like carry on the mantle. Like I could see 2 arguments, one with like letting the character go and like, you know, putting it to rest, and then building different characters and their own legacies. But at
Mm.
the same time, there's almost something special to me personally about like Captain America, where it's like he was the captain of the Avengers, he was the first Avenger, you know, he next to Iron Man kind of started the whole MCU going forward, and at least in my opinion, and I almost want to see that like going forward.
Okay.
I want to see
Yeah.
like someone take
I
up the
mean,
mantle.
I think Gabe is right. Like there's no way that somebody doesn't take up that moniker, because it's too valuable of a property to
Mhm.
just be left to just kind of
Yeah.
be sitting on a shelf.
I
Okay.
agree.
So with that in mind, I think we might as well dive into the episode, because I'm sure we're going to have a lot to discuss.
Yeah.
Plus it's a longer show. So
Oh,
let's
yeah.
do this. Guys, queue up 000 for the timer on episode 1, which by the way is titled New World Order. Shout out to WCW. New World Order. Right? Okay. Are you guys all queued up?
Yeah, let me just before we start, I want to
Okay.
check it's in English. Yeah, it's in English. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
and turn on
that's the point that
subtitles.
This is something we have to check every week.
Yes.
You know, with Disney Plus, I don't know, man. It happens. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Here we go, guys. I'm gonna count down 3, 2, 1. Once I say go, that's when you press play. 3, 2, 1, go. And here we go.
5, 6.
Do, 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 do. Dean,
Still
you're like that.
music, man.
Have you
That
seen
music,
that?
man.
Have you ever seen that? I think it's a TikTok or something of the dad who changes the Netflix to like a different language when the kids are really tired, and so he tells them like you got to go to sleep, and then when they wake up, he changes it back to English
So,
so that
I'm
they
gonna
don't feel
sound
like it's all like scrambled
I'm gonna
up.
sound like a
Boomer.
okay, I have no idea. What is that?
Dean, are you okay?
He tied
Dean,
his-
Dean, the
his headphone around
Falcons.
his wheel.
Dean,
There
the
we go.
Falcons are right.
Yeah, okay. I might sound like a boomer, but I don't use TikTok. The only TikToks I look at are the ones people send me.
Boomer.
There's Sam. Here we go, guys.
Oh man, look at that face.
I was about
Do
to
we-
say that you stole my thunder.
Do we know how much time has passed
6 months.
Okay.
Wait, sorry, what was it? 6 years?
Months.
Yes.
Months, okay. Yeah, you say.
Cut the check.
Oh, and by the way, I don't believe they say that in the episode. Like that's a Kevin Feige thing, or someone said
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the score for this show, I guess, right? This little doo-doo-doo, tung, tung, tung. This is new, right?
Oh. Yeah.
It has a bit of a military like drum thing. Boom. Nice. All right. I wonder if this is from the trailer. Everybody in the Marvel universe is incredibly subtle.
I love it, man.
Except for Black Widow. She's legit actually is subtle, but everybody else is...
R.I.P.
Oh.
Oh, I thought they were asleep. Never mind.
Wait, that it said spoken French? That's George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
That's what's his face? He was in Winter Soldier. He plays Batrock, right? Remember Cap and him fist fight?
Yeah.
Batroc. Dang, Red Wing just keeps getting more and more OP.
So much more. Who?
Okay, that was cool.
That was really cool.
Oh,
did they just okay? Geniuses they are.
good takedown by George. There's a reason he was the 170-pound and 185-pound champion in the UFC.
Right.
Squirrel suits.
At budget though.
I am incredibly impressed by like the effects are very, very well done. Like it doesn't look cheesy or like they try to cut costs.
I mean, some of this is real, I think.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
Like that's a real shot right there,
Yeah.
which is incredible.
Yeah, amazing. And this looks so good.
Whoops.
I don't think his wings can stop those bullets.
Most likely not. That's a much higher caliber.
I think it's got firepower.
What's the name of the rockets from Iron Man 2? The ex-wife or whatever it was called? Remember?
I don't I don't remember
Oh,
exactly what it
wait.
was called.
I wonder if that was like if you stop there, maybe that's the ex-wife rockets sold by Hammer Industries.
Hope you guys didn't miss his Scorpion Get Over Here takedown he did. That was pretty great.
Ooh. Dang.
I like
That's
that. That
great.
was great. Yeah, this is definitely my type of show much more. So
Oh,
that was
dang.
cool.
Dude, this budget is like
Mhm.
incredible. You just noticed now? Like he's had to fight 2 helicopters,
He has missiles, like
a
8 missiles
small
coming at him
army.
at all times.
Yeah, he's outnumbered. Whoa.
Dang. Oh! One down. Uh-oh. Dang.
George is still alive though. He's done it.
Wow, what a way to start. Holy. He just leaps that out.
Oh, they're not very secretive about their identities.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Everyone knows.
And the MCU,
Yeah.
everyone knows.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, that's
I'm just saying,
baklava, I
like, it's
think, right there.
expensive, you know?
Uh-oh.
What's that?
Mm. That's a good delivery.
Stuff.
Yep. Captain America, some related to Cap. Hey, it's Rhodey. Yeah, so they do say a few months ago, I guess. No specifics, but
Guess McDonald's doesn't exist in the MCU.
oh, they're just going to display it in the Smithsonian, I guess.
Well, it doesn't really fit with his style of fighting as well, though. But I wonder if one of them will pick it up by the end. Probably. Oh wait, did they gave it to Shield?
No,
No,
it's
no, the Smithsonian.
It's a museum.
Yeah.
I see.
That's the first Avenger costume. You having second thoughts?
I think he just misses his friend.
Thanks, dude. Just completely ruined that. See, having second thought. No, I think he's just literally missing Steve. That's
I
it.
genuinely don't think he's having second thoughts, you know?
I just think that speech that Rhodey gave him made him maybe think, kind of like, maybe there should be a Captain America. Oh my goodness, that jump scared me. Dang. Oh, Russians, of course. I was gonna say, I'm like, how did they use French? They should have.
Not
Usually
Russians.
it's Russians.
Huh? I thought he was done with all that.
I think Winter Soldier is a memester. What do you think, Dean? Is this guy scared?
Nah, he looks calm, as collected.
Oh, it's a nightmare
that
from
makes
back when
sense.
he was like working for them.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. He's watching football. A man of taste.
Well, he was asleep.
I love the trees in the
Exactly, man
background.
of taste.
What? Okay, we'll talk about that later. Go off the deep end. Can't do anything illegal. Okay.
All I did is he says.
Mm. That little smirk.
Oh my god.
I guarantee you there's some interesting names on that list there.
Yeah,
There has
Probably.
to be some Easter eggs there.
I agree with that.
that's the one thing that I think we could pause and look.
We can go back on that afterwards. I trust people.
I feel attacked.
It's a very interesting camera angle.
For her, yeah, I
And
agree.
for him,
Well, I mean, even
like,
for him, I
just
agree.
picture the cameraman who's got to be like, just there. Keep going, Bucky. Just react, Bucky.
I'm pretty sure the lenses can zoom in a little bit, Max.
Yeah. I mean, they could maybe,
No,
but
no, no.
I don't know if they could afford
Zoom
that. For
lenses don't exist. What are you talking about? It's only primes.
wait, are you serious, bro? So I
Yeah,
don't have to have this camera sit this close to me?
yeah.
Oh god.
My brain hurt after that.
I was just confused as to why that required an explanation as opposed
Yeah.
to what else could it sound like.
It's so young.
Let's go, Yuri. 10 out of 10. Wingman. Get it? Wingman? Falcon?
Oh man.
She looks familiar to me. I feel like she's in something else. Maybe not. It's a dance. It's a little bit ago.
Why is he looking at that? Did he kill his son?
That's what I'm thinking. I think that's what they were foreshadowing.
How do you say that? Delacroix?
Yeah, Delacroix. Delacroix. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like the water, right? Like La Croix. The water
Wait,
that
can I get
everybody
that one more
drinks.
time?
La
Can I hear that? I
Croix.
didn't hear that.
La Croix.
No,
Can I-
that's not the sound Falcons make.
Can I get a La
That's a
Croix?
duck.
La Croix. Someone in my chat said Max looks like he's directing a movie.
Why?
Just the way you're sitting, like with the jacket, like
Oh.
just like the hat, you know.
Max, y'all cut real quick.
Action! Great shot. Cut the check. Cut the check.
Ugh.
I hope people know what that reference is to, right? With cut the check.
No, I don't know where that's from.
Anthony Mackie always says that every single time that they finish a scene successfully, he would always say, cut the check. There's like literally special features on the Winter Soldier DVD or Blu-ray where they like, it's literally like 8 minutes of him just saying, cut the check all throughout the movie. And like everybody on set started saying it.
It's actually pretty cool.
Imagine his Tinder profile. Everybody's like, wait, hold up. What? Oh, it's a drinking game version of Battleship.
It's the best version.
Yeah, I think that he probably killed his son
Yeah.
because
yeah.
he's probably on his list, like to make amends or something.
Is he gonna?
Oh, yes, from the nightmare. Remember?
Mm-hmm. It made sense now. Comes full circle.
Good call, Max.
Yep. That's how I am. I'm always early to everything.
Or late.
I'm never late. Unless if something happens. But yeah.
Yeah.
Fortnite? Oh.
How meta would that be? If they're playing
That'd
like
be way
Fortnite with
too
the
meta.
Marvel?
Yeah.
skins?
Well, they did have Thor playing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Is everyone part of the organization?
Mm. And they're all playing Pokemon Go.
True. Forgot about that.
Like, there's a shiny Charizard here.
Oh, see? They just found one.
Uh-oh.
Oh, put on the masks.
Very indiscriminatory about who they give it to. No, you take one.
Yeah.
You take one.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
that
stealing
character,
money from the bank.
whoever that is, they must have superpowers. You can't just jump from a second floor like that, like it's nothing.
Wait, he
Well,
jumped?
did you see that? Like,
No, I might have literally blinked or looked away for a half second. Don't pursue him.
yeah.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah. I do think so now. You know, generally with a gun, you don't move in to grabbing distance, generally speaking.
Ooh.
That was one hit too. Wow.
This guy is just like that little peek he does. Like, really? How do you not recognize Falcon?
So he's basically using his standing.
I like that they didn't put a logo for any bank. Like they were like, we can't really throw any bank under the bus.
Oh, cool.
All local, yeah.
I'm sorry, it's just that selfie. It's like, hey, get to secure line ASAP, and then just beat up like puppy eyes. Like I got whooped.
Oh wow, they what? Nah. Just nah. Just nah.
Yeah, that was a little.
Just nah.
That was a little like they might as well have, you know, that classic troll face like in black and white. They might as well have pasted that like right on his face as they zoom in. It should have just been the troll face.
Okay,
Dang.
that's it, right? Or is there more?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. There's nothing
Okay.
else.
I'm gonna quickly head back to that book. I want to see if there's any.
Okay, you
specific
take a
things.
look.
You guys can start and give your thoughts.
So, you know what? I actually want to hear from Gabe since it's his second viewing. What do you think?
And we knew this going in, but like I love how like tonally it's different than WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the coolest thing, because I was afraid that this was gonna be just like balls to the wall, like action constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad it's not that.
Yeah.
One interesting thing: Sam and Bucky don't meet whatsoever during this episode.
Yes. Even though we know
I mean,
that there is some communication, but it's not. It's one-sided. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, in a lot of trailers, like we've seen Sam back with the shield. I wonder how long this like fake Captain America thing goes for.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. But the personal stuff they're doing with Sam and his sister with the bank loan and the race implications, and then Bucky with the PTSD, like they're getting like a little more personal with it, which I really like, because I thought that this was what the show was for the first 20 minutes is what I thought the show was going to be, just like, hey, like action, like
I think that was a smart way of getting people in, though, because I think it's almost like one of the big complaints that people had with WandaVision was the lack of action, right? Like until the finale. And so I think to like get people in there, like, yo, check this out. We still know how to do this. And then after that, I think it, like, I agree with you. I really like the idea of like diving, particularly for Falcon. We don't really get a lot of his like persona, right? Like we see him pretty much just as Falcon. We don't really see a lot of Sam. So it's very cool that here they're showing to us like more of his personal side, or like what has he where does he come from, what is his family like I think that that's really cool. And then the other thing is that we didn't really get to see a lot of this whole idea of like PTSD with Steve Rogers, right? So it's cool that it looks like they're gonna explore that through Bucky, right? Or like where like what has he been going through now that he is a man out of time, right? Like because they kind of did a little bit of that with Cap with like certain little gags, right, that they would do, but overall we never really got that, right? So it's interesting that they're gonna do that with Bucky instead.
A couple of things. One, make no mistake, I think that there will be a ton more action. Like I think this will still be a very action. Like we'll have set pieces. The other thing, I think the reason why we couldn't see that with Cap so much is like Cap wasn't out there like murdering people in the name of Hydra.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
He wasn't like brainwashed. Like so they couldn't
That's
do
true.
that so much.
There's more mental damage with Bucky.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I love like that one scene in particular. Like the episode, I liked it. Like I wouldn't say I love the episode. Like I liked it a lot. But Bucky there with the shrink and his like little nuances to his face when he says, "Oh, you're gonna start writing in a notebook again," like stuff like that. Like it's hilarious. His little smirks. He's like, "You're a terrible shrink." Like those things we don't see in Bucky so much either, because he was either always like super serious, like in his Winter Soldier mode, or he was like kind of like gone. It's great that we're seeing these more nuanced sides to these characters that we're never going to have an opportunity to shine in these big Avengers movies because there's just no time. Like we can't all have every movie can't be the Snyder cut.
Which to be fair, like I think that's what the Disney Plus shows should be. That's your opportunity. Like dive into because imagine how much more impactful these characters will be when they're back in those bombastic movies when we have gotten a chance to learn more about them, right? Like where it's a lot more, there's a lot more details to their personalities and such. So I think that's great
to the characters, right? Like you actually understand the motives and the motivations, the fears. Like they become much more dynamic characters rather than, oh, it's just a hero and it's just like, you know, basic hero characteristics. But another big thing that I really enjoyed from this episode, and I hope they continue to, and it does seem based on the first episode, is the idea of the world changing. We never, like, we obviously had the blip, and then we had a lot of stuff happen in between that. I guess we had WandaVision as well, but they've never really discussed an overall like global impact, because now they actually mentioned like billions of people came back, like they went to the bank, and like things are much stricter and more difficult. So I like that they're actually alongside these like macro, like the overall concept of what's happening around the world, as well as the details of what's happening with these specific characters as well.
I think that that's like a double, like there's multiple meanings, probably not just two. To the world changing. I don't believe that's all they're talking about. I think that the creator's like been open about it. He was talking about how this show, one of the challenges is like, how do you make people okay with an African American Captain America? Like, and I think that's another thing that they mean by like, hey, the world's changing. Like, I think that's something that the show's gonna like lean into a little bit, where maybe things that, if you take note of the new Captain America, like they took his shield, right? They're saying, hey, like this is the right thing. We should put it in a museum. And then like not like a day or two later, they have this other white dude. Like I think that that's another thing that they mean by like the world changing. I feel like maybe
I don't know. Maybe I'm not 100%. Like again, if you're saying if the creator has come out and said that that's the motivation, then yes, sure. I don't know how. Like considering that, personally, I've not seen anyone who was like against Sam Wilson Cap. Right, like, and he was well received. Again, just the show, so like, so the question is like, is it just contextualizing the show, or is this like social commentary, whatever? I'm not 100% certain. I think that it might be partially that, for sure, right? Like because again, it would be weird if it's a coincidence there, right? Like it'd be an odd thing for them to just like, yeah, it's just a coincidence that we waited a couple of days and then chose like a prototypical like jock looking dude, but it's almost like it's so like in your face with the way they zoomed in at the end, and he had that like kind of grin on his face. It's like it was almost like very obvious, right? I think that again, I think that it'll be interesting to see if the show is the world accepting a new Captain America, or one of these guys accepting that moniker. Because to me, I think that you could see that there was an offer on the table for Sam to take over, right? He just chose that he feels like nobody can like he said in that speech, prop up that moniker, right? So, which is why I think when we watch him at the end there, I wonder, like, really great acting by Anthony Mackie, where you could see he's angry, like you could see him like clutching his jaw, because it's like. But the question, I guess, is like, what is he angry at? Is he angry at the U.S. government for like just kind
I
of
think he's
ignoring
angry at
what he's
himself.
said? Or is he frustrated partially to be like, oh, like, why did I think that they were just going to let this be? Like, why did I think that they weren't just going to go on ahead and just pick one of their, hand-picked figures and just place them in front? So that's an interesting concept there. I think in general, like, I really like you guys said, like, I think that my favorite part is even in the bank, like that scene of the teller being like, so yeah, how do you guys get paid and all that? Because like that's a thing that we never like actually consider, right? Like that the vast majority of them, they don't have like paying jobs, right? Like you got Tony Stark, who owns Stark Industries, so he's incredibly wealthy. But then everybody else is like Doctor Strange is not a surgeon anymore, right? Like, but I guess he could just like conjure up money and all that. So it's like it is interesting that that's one of the things, like, why was Spider-Man always so well liked? Because he was incredibly relatable, right? Like people always said that Peter Parker had the same problems as you and I, whether it be paying your bills, relationships. So for them to
Getting
then
bit by radioactive spiders, like I had
Yeah,
that happen
exactly.
Totally, bro.
and so to him, like for them to go with the show to like kind of show us that, like you can see that Falcon's family is like clearly struggling. His sister's having trouble to like maintain this failing, I guess, like fishery business. And it's like, I think that that's going to make these characters a lot more relatable. And furthermore, I think showing us that is what's going to really cement him as Captain America, because he will represent America. Like he comes from like the average, not the average, but like, I just think that layering these elements onto these characters, instead of just like you said, if they were leaned into more just the action side, I think it would have felt a lot more like surface level. Whereas now I think they're going to actually like make us feel like, who are these guys? And more importantly, I think seeing this, I agree with you now for sure, Gabe, that Sam is the only one that makes sense to take over as Cap.
Yeah.
Because Bucky, even though he does in the comics also,
He's gonna get a redemption arc instead, I think.
I think for Bucky, it's like because of everything that he's done, even though again he was mind control and everything, I just don't think that
it already takes away from what Captain America would be. Like even though it's not his fault, or like, and there was not much he could have done, it takes away from the concept and what the speech like that he had, where he was saying that Captain America was the symbol, and it takes away from the symbol for the country and the people, I think. And that's why I agree with you guys. Like it has to be him. Like it has to be Falcon. What's it called? What's his name again?
Sam Wilson.
Sam,
Sam Wilson, right? So it has to be Sam. And then also just like the way he holds himself up is very Captain American like the way because like he basically took all of his morals, all of his understanding, like everything from Captain America, from I want to keep saying Captain America. I don't understand. From Steve Rogers, right? So it's like it only makes sense from a thematic standpoint as well for him to continue that mantle forward.
How'd you guys feel about the Rhodey inclusion? He, very brief, but I think that was like so cool that we got to see someone else. We know that he has his own show coming up and things like that.
He has his own show coming?
Yeah.
Iron Wars.
Oh right, I forgot. That's gonna be a while out though, isn't it? Like all
yeah. Well,
next year.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
next
to be
year.
fair, with how Disney is going to be releasing them, it's going to be a new show as the previous one ends, right? Because we already have the.
Well, for now we have Loki next.
Yeah. But we'll see, obviously, how everything goes, right? Like as far as the world.
Movies as well, right? Like when is do we have a date for Black Widow as well?
May?
Yeah, May so far, assuming that it doesn't get delayed again. I like that because again, I think that was a really great, like, again, I don't know, to me, that speech that Rhodey gave to Sam was very much like, kind of like, hey, dude, like, this, you're the guy, like, you should take up this mantle. And considering the stature that Rhodey has in the U.S. military, right? Like, I think it's... No, I just think that it's like, if Sam has doubts, which he clearly does, hearing somebody like Rhodey who's decorated and like fought alongside Cap, has a very, very high ranking position in the US military. It's like to hear from him to be like, hey, you should be taking up this mantle, I think gives him a lot more, hopefully, like confidence to like actually go through with that, with taking up that mantle of Captain America. So I like that because again, I think it gives gravitas, and plus again, it's like what Marvel and the MCU usually are doing, where they layer things on, right? Where it's like all of these events that happen over time, they slowly but surely like matter. And
how'd you guys?
so, yeah.
Oh, my bad. Were you
No. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you guys, how do you feel about the fact that we didn't see, two prominent characters at all in this? Baron Zemo and Sharon Carter are both in the posters, and we've seen them heavily in trailers.
Yeah.
And
But we were introduced to a new character also, Taurus, right? It looks like he's going to be playing a role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel about that?
For me personally, I think that it's
characters are.
Baron Zemo was in Captain America
I
Civil
know
War.
them, but I can't remember them.
He was the guy in Civil War who was like manipulating everything, and he was the one that broke Bucky out.
Yeah, like the ranking official, right, in the army.
No, that's General Ross. He was
the guy in the hotel that was like,
yeah, that killed the guy in the bathtub.
Yeah.
He was the guy that made everything in Civil War seem like Bucky had killed an organized
the Russian guy, like that that guy.
He's German.
Yeah, he was pretending to be Russian, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but like that guy,
So
he's the main villain
supposed
here,
to be the main villain.
And Sharon Carter. I mean, I don't know how you don't know who she is.
Yeah. She also appeared in Civil War, and was she in Winter Soldier? I think she was in Winter Soldier as well, right? Yeah. I think that it's a good. Again, I loved the pacing of this episode, just in the sense of like go action into then ping ponging back and forth as to like what are both of these guys going through. Like now that the blip is over, the main threat of like Thanos, which was like this big giant threat, has passed. Now it's like these guys got to go back to like quote unquote like regular life and
their status quo, like whatever they're
exactly. And like for both of them, you could see that it's not easy, obviously, and for each one it's a completely different struggle, right? So maybe that will be like partially where they find some camaraderie, is that they're both are having trouble to like get back into a normal quote unquote, right? Like without being incredibly frustrated, because you could see they both, like in the bank, you could see how incredibly frustrated, deservedly so, Sam is. But then also you could see how much of a tough time, what's his face, Bucky has with like making those amends and following those rules and not actually getting incredibly violent, or like, because that in his mind it would have been much easier for him to just take out that senator instead of just like, oh yeah, let me just talk to you guys and like bring the like.
That's also all he knows how to do too, right?
Like that's what he's good at. Like it's like he says he hasn't danced since 1943. That's all he knows is war, and that's pretty much it. Fighting. So I think that it's going to be an interesting story, hopefully, of seeing the two of them like kind of accept their new realities after everything that they've just gone through. And then also ultimately I think that having seen the course of this episode, I think that I am now more leaning towards Sam Wilson takes up the mantle and he will be our new Captain America by the end of this.
Do we got any predictions for next week at all? Do we think they meet? I think they absolutely though. I think they absolutely meet next week. Do you think Sam and Bucky are meeting next week?
Well, it looks like the motivation is probably going to be Sam going out there to like help out with like this whole what were they called? Flag smashers, right?
Yeah. Flags. Wait. What was the name again?
Flag smashers. I think
it was something like that. Actually,
Flag smashers.
Yeah, I know. I thought you guys had it exactly. It was like flag.
Smashers, I think.
Smashers, okay.
I think.
I think so too.
So I think that the motivation is that he probably goes out there and then he needs backup or whatever, and that's who he calls upon is Bucky.
Could we have seen the next Falcon right there? With the Hispanic looking dude, the guy that gets punched, not kicked,
Taurus?
kicked in the face.
You think
Yeah.
Taurus?
Oh, I see what you mean. Like he
Mm.
passes the mantle and he becomes Captain
Mhm.
America. Yeah, that would be
Because
interesting. I mean, he has the same-
correct me if I'm wrong. Right? Sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not super well versed in Falcon comics, but I could have sworn that I saw that there was like a Hispanic-ish Falcon of some kind, and I believe it's that exact character. I believe. I could be wrong.
I know that you are right as far as like I know that they did do another a new Falcon when Wilson takes over in the comics.
I'm sorry, Chad
in
just
20
confirmed that Torres was Falcon in the comics too. So
Yeah.
there you go.
So
yeah, I mean, it would make sense, right? Especially with the way they have that dynamic setting up in the first episode as well.
yeah,
Mhm.
possibly. I get, and again, it would confirm and would make sense as far as like let Sam become Cap, and then his Falcon becomes Taurus, and then they go off, and you could make a Captain America movie, right? With
Oh man, but that's just I feel like that eventually gets so like convoluted with people switching roles and then this guy becomes this and
that's comics. That's like how that's what they always do. So I don't like I
mean,
don't
I guess it's not
necessarily
too
mind it.
complicated overall. Like the MCU used to be, I feel like simple, like very simple. Like you watch like the first 10, 15 movies, you see how everything kind of gets placed into.
You watch the first 15, 20 movies.
Guys,
I
this
said
is
10,
so
15 on
simple,
purpose.
guys. Guys, this is so simple. All you
But
gotta
I
do is
look
just
at
watch these
MCU,
10
that's
films.
how it is it not?
Yeah, but did you just hear what you said? You're like, it's so simple. All you
I
gotta do
agree.
is watch these 10 movies. That's not
Yeah,
that's the opposite
but
of
you're
simple.
talking to a guy who's seen almost 1,000 episodes of One Piece. Like,
Okay, fair enough, but it's like that's not simple. Like
No,
again, I think it will all come down to execution. The one thing that I am like, again, what I'm keeping in check now is I'm literally going to watch the show week to week. I don't want to like, because the thing is that I think if we start setting ourselves up with like, oh, well, wouldn't this mean that? Then I think I'm going to have a similar experience to WandaVision.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm like much more going into this. I'm like, I'm just going to watch the story beats. And to me, there was nothing about this episode that I disliked. Like there was nothing where I was like, oh, I really wish they wouldn't have done that or like do this. It's like, I think that you will see people maybe criticize like, oh, like, are they beating you over the head with messaging or something like that? To me, I think that that's people who are like overthinking it or like over analyzing stuff. And I think that everything that they've brought to the forefront, whether it be social commentary or like commentating on the real world from a macro perspective, from race, from economics, from these flag smashers and like their whole concepts about like how they said like, oh, unified, no borders and all that stuff. I'm sure people will be digging into that stuff, but I think that if you've ever read a comic book for Captain America, that's what the stories are always about. They are very politically like charged and things like that. So I think it makes sense for the show. And because of that, I don't really think that that's a critique, because I know some people will have that as a critique, but to me, I'm like, that's the theme. Like it's like saying that WandaVision is like, shouldn't have powers or whatever. It's like, that's the show. Like that's her, like she has powers, you know, it's like, so to me, I really like the episode. I give it a thumbs up.
just
For
to
sure.
also clarify, it is called Captain America. It would make sense that it would be kind of politicized in some degree.
I know, but I saw a few people say like in the chat, and I guarantee you that it will be a thing that people will bring up of like, oh, is it social commentary? Is it too much social commentary? Is it this or that? And to me,
right amount.
At the end of the day,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's kind of going back to what Gabe said earlier, it is what it is. Like I'm just trying to enjoy the show, so like we'll see how it goes. Like really, at the end of the day,
Did you
it's-
guys? And we know that it's a Marvel show, and most of them have it in some fashion. How would you guys
Mhm.
feel about the comedy and this? Like there was some like really like I thought were like
Oh,
funny
I
moments.
loved it.
Yeah.
It was
like
great.
Bucky to me is funny. Like Bucky's funny. I
yeah,
love it,
he had
but-
great
I mean,
delivery.
he
Yeah.
was funny even before. Like he had his moments. Very few. He had his moments though.
Yeah. Remember the hey, could you move your seat up a little bit?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And he just shifts over in the car, the tiny little car. Yeah, I thought the comedy, everything, like again, like to me, I thought that this was a great first episode. Like what can you point to in this episode where it's like, oh, it's bad? Like amazing action for the start for the people that's what they tune in for, right? Like an incredible, on par with any of the action scenes they've done in the movies, right? Like you get that, you get comedy, you get heartfelt story. If you want more of the kind of like, hey, have some commentary about the real world and things like that, that's in there too. If you want something that is like to flesh out these two personas and like give them more, instead of just being two-dimensional characters, now we're starting to get more into their like personality and who they are really as men. It's like, there you go. Like we had that as well. You can see that everything that built out throughout the episode will slowly but surely showed to us who they are, right? Like, and now we'll see them hopefully balance that out with, again, action comedy. So I don't know, like to me, I'm not really sure what to point out as like flaws, which I know it probably seems lame because it's like we should point out something that we didn't like. But if either one of you guys has something, please bring it up, because I don't know. Like I thought that there's nothing wrong with this episode. Like unlike the WandaVision one, which was a lot more like controversial.
Yeah, like for me, it's like so hard to give like anything like a 10 out of like that's I thought it was like I thought it was really good. Another thing I wanted to say is like in the beginning when we heard that this was 6 episodes, I was like, damn, like that's not a lot. But now that I've seen this and I've seen the
They got
pace,
a
I'm like,
lot done. Yeah.
I was gonna say like they could do a lot with 6 of these. Like if they have the same balance with like story and character moments and action that they did this for 5 more episodes, they could tell a very cool cohesive story that doesn't really like go all over the place. So now I'm like kind of happy. Like they've kind of maybe taken a like British series like approach to it, where like a British series will be like 5 or 6 episodes, but
it's all dense. Like everything that happens makes sense.
No,
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy, because everything that happens, even like little moments that maybe people don't look into, like just even like him trying to fix up the boat and everything, and like being all those little moments, it's all things that like add to the story and to the characters. So absolutely. And again, I'm not saying that this is like the best episode of TV I've ever seen. I'm just saying that there was nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they
did what they needed to do for sure.
Yeah, like there was no flaws.
Like I think it was good. Like,
yeah. Well, Dean, do you give it a thumbs up?
I do indeed.
Thumbs up across the board. We got 3 thumbs up. Bada bing, bada boom. So with that all in mind, let's go on ahead and take a couple of points from the chat. We'll take a couple of questions before we say our goodbyes. Thank you for the super chat. Lego 5Man says, do you ever watch the show on stream? Well, we do. I just can't show it on stream because, well, Gamer, tell them what happened if you played a little bit of audio.
So, you get a strike, and that's
not a claim.
Not a claim. Strike. 3 strikes, and you're out. Yeah. So, and I already got one.
So
it'll go away. It'll go away in like what, 5 months now?
I honestly think it's gone away already, to be honest.
Yeah.
But,
so that's unfortunately we can't show.
It'll go away.
Yeah. Welsh Wolf says, Ableton, what about Bucky becoming the White Wolf? Do you guys think that there's a chance that that's the moniker that he takes up?
I mean, we heard that, right? Chitala calls him that. Hey, like,
they got to rebrand him other than Winter Soldier. I feel like because Winter Soldier
just call him Bucky. I mean, in this episode, he says when I was the Winter Soldier, like, so he doesn't like take.
He doesn't like that moniker, I guess.
Like he's
well because he associates it with everything that like how things happen, right? So yeah, I think Bucky should be Bucky. That's what he should go by.
Yeah,
personally,
he should just kind of have his own identity now. He's kind of been mind controlled one too many times.
There's a couple of people, Max, asking for us to give it like a number rating. I've seen like multiple.
Okay. Out of 10, go ahead.
Give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm like right like at a 7.5, 8. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Like I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Because and again, people say, well, if you said there's nothing wrong with it, how is it not a 10? It's just because you obviously always want to leave room for like an episode that maybe just completely blows you away, right? Like this is not on par with like, oh, it's one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen. It's not there. But I also don't have anything that I could point to that I'm like, oh, that was bad. And so because of that,
Yeah.
I think an 8 out of 10 is a fair
Well,
score.
because it's a lot of setup, right? Like, and Max, we were talking about exposition for damn near 4 hours last night.
Yeah.
So like, but some of that stuff is like necessary because you're setting up what the series is for the next 5 weeks.
But even not even just the series, but like you're also setting things up for the rest of like the entire like phases. Like these characters eventually like will be set up into whatever roles that they're meant to be, and then they're going to be movies made about them, right? So it's
and I would argue.
I mean, I don't know if there's a Bucky.
Well, the assumption at the very least.
I think Bucky will appear in all the Captain America projects. That's what I think. I think he'll always be like kind of second fiddle to that. I think that for me though, like this is how you do exposition. Like the exposition points for this show were very well done. Like they set up this LAF, they set up the flag smashers, and then aside from that, everything else is not exposition. It's actually just like building these characters up, right? Like telling us like where they come from, etc.
You want to critique? You guys want something negative said about this? I got you. I got one thing.
Here we go.
I got one. No, it's not even that bad. All right, so when Falcon rescues the sergeant, like I don't remember the dude's name, on the
Savant
ground,
or something, Salvant or whatever it was,
something. When on the ground, you have the guy saying yeah and like jumping and putting his fist in there. That's a little corny. Like you don't need that moment, right?
Even though he's just terrified driving towards the Libyan border, like please get him before we cross the border, so that then it doesn't become a major incident.
He jumped in the air with his fist up. Like, come on. Like,
I don't know. When things happen in the army,
doesn't
I'm
clearly
nitpicking, but you guys wanted something.
Yes.
And like that's what I think.
Good point.
Somebody's asking Etihad Detail, I think is how you say that. Hopefully, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Saying, would you guys rather that would you rather Isaiah Bradley got the shield or Sam? Who's Isaiah Bradley?
Is that a different character?
I don't know who Isaiah Bradley is.
Is that like? I think that's another guy that does become Captain America also, but in the comics. But the thing is, we've never been introduced to them, so no. Like the premise of the show is Falcon and Winter Soldier figuring out who is like worthy of that mantle, like who's supposed to take up that mantle. And
I see who. Okay, I this didn't ring up. Dude, this isn't happening in the MCU, man. Like maybe at some point, not now.
Shut down,
dude. Come on, that's not happening in the MCU. I'm sorry.
You just got shut down, my guy. So
I'm sorry.
Unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. I mean, just immediately.
Have some ice for that burn.
Yeah, most other people are saying they really enjoyed the episode, so it looks like we're kind of all on the same boat.
We need to get Isaac in here. Stat.
Isaac did say that he would hang out in the chat. I don't know if he's there.
He did say that. I was hoping to actually get his opinion.
If Isaac was here, that would have been.
Yeah. Awesome Pokemon parody says something that I don't think will happen, but I think would be like interesting to see. They say that they think that the shield will go back and forth between Falcon and the USA agent. I don't think so. I think once once Sam gets a hold of it, that's it.
I think Sam is supposed to be like it. The way that the story is being told, I think that it's like Winter Soldier's story is going to be more about like acceptance of the fact that the things that he did as Winter Soldier are not is not Bucky Barnes.
You're telling me it's WandaVision 2.0?
Sort of.
Oh,
but then, and for Sam's arc is going to be accepting the fact that he is worthy of being Cap, even though, because it's like Cap chooses him to be Cap, and yet he's the one that says like, oh, I'm not ready or whatever. And so I think that it will be the arc of him like accepting the fact that he is worthy.
In two different ways, essentially, for two different
characters. Yeah. One, growing to accept the fact that he is not Winter Soldier, right?
And, that's actually an interesting way of putting it.
And then the other one growing to know that he is Cap and he is Captain America.
I've seen this on the internet a lot. They're like, oh, like the new Captain America like sucks. Guys, they did that on purpose. Like they like clearly that's like dude, that's a cosplay.
That zoom in, like I swear, you could literally
do it on purpose. Guys.
You could
we started laughing like immediately.
You could superimpose.
Like, we know it's not real.
You could superimpose the classic troll face over that, and it would match like the lines. They found a man that looks like the troll face in a Captain America suit.
Guys, yeah.
I guarantee you. Like it's so
done.
obvious.
It's done on purpose. Like that's
Yes.
not Cap going forward.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
It's
like,
intentional.
It's done as like some type of like I don't want to call it a joke, but almost a joke.
I feel like it's like the whole point of that was for Sam. Like that was like it was just motivation for Sam being like that should not be the guy up there. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it plays
see,
out.
we'll see.
It'll be
Exactly.
interesting for sure. So with all that in mind, ladies and gents, there you go. Of course, Falcon Winter Soldier episode number 1 is in the books. We'll be back next Friday for chapter 2 to see where we are headed to next. We hope that you guys did enjoy the first episode. If you did, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Gabe, let people know where they can find you.
Here, be Gabe on YouTube. Go check me out. We just got memberships.
Yeah, and here as in like HERE.
Yeah, HEREBEGABE. Pretty easy.
Yeah. Dean, let people know where they can find you, bro.
You can find me at Unlimited Magic, or you can also find me at youtube.com/VRetry for VR related content.
There you go. And of course, you can find me at Blitzringer, at Fanboy Potion. Thank you guys so very much for tuning on in. We hope you guys enjoyed. We will hopefully see you here next week. Thanks for hanging out. Peace out. See you later. Alligator.